Thank, Hello. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for coming the day before tomorrow's match, Australia v Sri Lanka here in Lucknow. Pat Cummins, Australian captain, here for your questions. If you have a question, raise your hand, wait for the microphone, and we'll get underway.
To win is the first one. Yeah, not a ideal start at all. So yeah, hopefully turn around.
Hey Pat, have you settled on the 11 for tomorrow?
We'll announce at the toss tomorrow, but yeah, I dare say there won't be too many changes.
And just in regards to the conditions here, because so few of the squad have played in India at this time of year, are you sort of learning on the run a bit? Would you say?
Yeah, it's a tricky one. Even ODI cricket compared to T20s played over, half the game in daylight, half at night. So it's a bit different to T20 cricket. Find these wickets sometimes hard to read as well. Like sometimes they look terrible and they play beautifully, and the opposite. Sometimes they look flat and they end up spinning. So it is tough. You just gotta adapt on the fly sometimes.
Pat, you've won two tosses, bowled first once, batted first once. Is it sort of got to a point where you just pick one now and sort of stick with it and hope that it works for the rest of the tournament, or is it more conditions? Like you will still assess the conditions going forward and make a judgment call on the day.
Yeah, you still got to assess conditions. India's a big country, so Chennai is a long way away from, say, up north, Delhi or somewhere like that. So there are big differences, but as I said, it's not a perfect art. It's a perfect science. It's whatever you do, you still need most games are kind of 50-50, whether you bat first or bowl first. The winner is historical, so you still got to, whatever you do, you got to do it well.
And what did you glean from the previous match in terms of how to go about batting on this surface? I know it's a different wicket for tomorrow's game, but it looked like South Africa copied what you guys did in the last 10 overs of your bowling innings and used that well against Australia's batters.
Yeah, I think they I thought we bowled really well at the end of that innings, and fair play to South Africa. I thought they bowled really well their whole innings. So yeah, cutters seemed to work quite well last game. Even just being a slightly bigger field here, that normally helps out the cutters into the wicket a little bit. So that's one thing. I think the way they bowled under lights, kind of there was a fair bit in the wicket. So we get it on our terms like that. Just got to make the most of it.
Pat, as you say, you're a little bit shocked to find yourselves where you are, two games down, two defeats. How's the mood in the squad? How are the levels of confidence?
Sorry, can I go without the mic? It's a bit.
Might be me. I slur. You're probably a little bit shocked to find yourself 0-2 in the tournament. How's the mood in the team and the squad? How are the levels of confidence?
Not ideal at all. I think after the last game was a little bit flat. But the last couple of days has been really good. Everyone's, kind of rolled up the sleeves and want to try and get to work and make amends. So, the mood in the camp's been fantastic. Everyone's great. Everyone's desperate to turn it around. I think looking back at 2019, India and South Africa were the two teams that we lost to in the round games there. I think in the last year, they're kind of the two teams that we've had the most trouble against. So, the opportunity now is we've got some teams we haven't played for a while that we've had a lot of success against and be really confident when we go out there.
Hey Pat, sorry if this has been asked before, but after the first two games, there's just been a general talk over here everywhere about, oh, this doesn't look like an Australian team, and but the Australian team plays like an Australian team, and they have the backs against the wall. But do you have an idea of what it is to play like an Australian team in your head, or are you all about just winning and losing and getting on with it?
No, still haven't really quite put my finger on what playing an Australian way means. And I've been playing for a long time. But I mean, no doubt we haven't been up to the standard that we like to hold. We've been off the mark and been outplayed both games. So when we're at our best, we're putting big runs on the board. We're putting the pressure back into the opposition. Us bowlers are taking wickets through the middle, so we haven't been able to pull any of that together so far. So, we know what makes us a really good team. Again, it wasn't that long ago. We're number one in the world, so we don't have to look back too far to work out when we're playing our best.
And just on the last game, Pat, overall, there might not be a lot of positives you took from it, but just the last 10 overs, the way you came back as well, adjusted to the pitch, and then the others did as well. So do you take that as one of those positives and you say, look, we adjusted well?
Yeah, that was one big positive. That's as well as I think, Starkey, Joshy, and myself have bowled, to close out an innings. At one stage there, I think they were two down with 15 overs to go. We're probably staring down 350, high 300s. So to keep them to just over 300, I thought was fantastic. So I think that becomes a bit of a blueprint, and that's kind of the standard we'd like to get to each game.
Pat, the tournament is such that you've picked a squad and you can't really make any changes now unless, like, there's an injury or whatever. Do you think that, like, if there was a possibility that you could do so, that you still believe you have the right balance of squad, or do you think things could be a little different in a different sort of scenario?
No, really happy with who we've got here. There's obviously a couple of injuries that have forced our hand a little bit, but no, we wouldn't change any of our personnel.
Hi, Pat. So Australia's successful campaigns across World Cups have largely been built around specialists. This time around, you have a number of all-rounders and a lot of options in both batting and bowling departments. Do you feel somewhere it's a lack of role clarity that's hurting the team a bit?
No, I don't think so. I think, the good thing and the luxury we have with the all-rounders is they all make it in the team on the back of their primary skill, which for most of them's batting. And it's fortunate we've got guys like Stoinis and Maxwell and Marsh that can provide overs and do it really well. So, there's certainly sometimes some teams I played in where you've got to try and fit in all rounders that might not make the top 7 batters or the top 4 bowlers, but we're in a really good place. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, hopefully. I mean, yeah, we're obviously 0-2, so we've got to start winning and start winning quick. Every game now becomes almost like a final. You've got to win just about all of them. So, yeah, hopefully. Cool. Thanks.